Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gene. You guys are watching Lubed for November the 19th, 2023. This is Season 3, Episode 15. And as you can see, I did a little bit of revamping on the channel. You're going to notice a lot of changes throughout this episode. I've added some interactive parts into it. And I'm going to also split the days as far as the weekend episodes go. There's going to be different stuff on the weekends compared to the weekday episode. But yes, welcome to the new Lubed. I think you guys are going to like some of the changes I made. But they were subtle changes, not major changes. Yes, so we are 3 days into the new coaching change, and what are your initial thoughts? In fact, I actually have a poll question coming up, and that's one of the new changes I've added. I've added poll questions, and I'm going to try a trivia question. I don't know how long that's going to last, because in the world of Google and Siri and that, it's just easy to get the answers at the split of a thing, but we'll see. I got to try to get questions that's even very hard to find on Google and that, so we'll see if I can. But yeah, it's been a interesting few weeks, has it not? We had Jack Campbell getting sent down to the minors. We had the firing of Woodcroft. We had the hiring of Knobloch. And yeah, just a lot have changed. The Oilers, of course, losing a tight, well, I don't know how tight it was. It was kind of a loose game against Tampa Bay. There was the same old culprits causing the same old mistakes. We'll get into that a little bit later. But anyway, as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen is a section called Oil Nation Press. And this is going to be something on each episode that I'm going to do. And it's just the latest quick news updates of, of what's going on in Oil Nation, essentially. And I initially had all the stuff that happened last week, and I'm like, well, that's old news. So this is pretty much the most recent news. As we witnessed last night, James Hamblin scored his first ever NHL goal, and he made a massive, awesome move to salute his mother up to the stars. As you know, those that don't know, James Hamlin's mother passed away a few years ago, and he or she was a major factor at getting James Hamlin where he is at. Also, some bad news as far as the Oilers go, as Dylan Holloway, I was going to call him Dustin Holloway. Dylan Holloway is out 2 to 3 months. I'm suspecting it's an ACL, MCL, whatever, but I'm expecting there is some kind of ligament damage with his knee when you're out that long, but it was a knee injury that they're claiming. So that's kind of crappy. And then a little bit more crappy news. So Oilers also lose the first game under Knobloch, which isn't really that crappy. But, and I can't quite see it here. But our prospect, what is his name? Bo Akey. See, I didn't write it down, but I actually remembered it. Bo Akey is out for the year. So that's a year's worth of getting this guy up and going that's gone down to the toilet. As I don't know what his injury was, but apparently he is out for the season and will not return this year. So it must be a pretty significant injury going to him. Okay, let's move on. And we're going to talk about the game that we saw yesterday against the Tampa Bay Lightning. As the Oilers lose 6-4 to the Lightning. More mistakes by the same guys. I mean, I love Evan Bouchard. He brings such a good offensive prowess. But boy, oh boy, defensively, he's... And I was watching Pat on the Oilers fanatic, and he was saying that he should be on the third line. I agree with Pat there. Again, this is one of those guys that you're paying a lot of money and not getting exactly the results. Like, I mean, offensively, he does have some offensive prowess. He's a good power play guy, but defensively, he is such a horrible liability. And I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But yeah, he really stood out. So anyway, started off really well for the Edmonton Oilers as Derek Ryan got a shorthanded goal from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Cody Ceci at 3:39 of the first period, followed 5 minutes later by James Hamlin's first ever career goal, and that was unassisted. Then just before the period end, Nikita Kucherov would get his 12th. Already 12 goals from Nikita, wow. That was on the power play from Steven Stamkos and Braden Point. It would end 2-1 after the first period. Nikita Kucherov would tie it with his 13th from from Sergachev and Radish at 12:56 of the second period. But Derek Ryan making a presence once again, having a great game. 2 goals for him last afternoon. Assisted by Warren Foegele and Matthias Ekholm. In the third period, Tanner Jeannot would make it 3-3. And that was from Michael Eisenmont and Sergachev. So Sergachev having a bit of a bounce back because he's been having some struggles so far this year. Evan Bouchard, this is one of those things that he does well. He did score his 4th from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. But then it was Steven Stamkos tying it again, and then Luke Clendenning really quickly after put the nail in the coffin about less than a minute later, and that's when I knew, we're going to lose this game. And then Mikhail Sergachev gets the empty net from Nicholas Paul. And there you have it. There's your final, 6-4. The Oilers get the first loss for Knobloch and move on to Florida tomorrow night, and hopefully get back to winning ways. All right, so again, they do play the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers have a record of 11-5-1. They are currently second in the Atlantic, so they are no easy contest, as the Oilers are going to have their hands full against them tomorrow. I also remind you, they are the Stanley Cup runner-up from last year as they lost to the Vegas Golden Knights, which I was angry about. But yeah, I actually was, as much as I hated Tkachuk when he was a Calgary Flame, I was hoping that he would actually win. So yes, they are going to be taking on the Panthers tomorrow night. And let's see if I can get that. Okay. The record that the Florida Panthers have going into this game is 11-5-1. As I mentioned, the Oilers going in with a 5-10-1. At home, Florida is actually pretty good with a 6-1-0 record. The Oilers on the road are 2-6, so not very good road record. When it comes to goals, the Oilers are 21st in the league, averaging 2.94. Florida Panthers are 19th in the league, averaging 3.6. Shots on goal, the Oilers are first in the league, averaging 34.4. The Panthers are 5th in the league, averaging 33.8. So this is a team that likes to pepper, and with the Oilers struggling in goaltending, this could be not a good thing. The power play, the Oilers are 12th in the league, averaging 22.8%. Meanwhile, the Panthers are in 23rd, right above the Oilers. 12th in the league for 22.8. The Panthers are 23rd in the league, averaging 16.1. So their power play percentage is kind of crappy. Face-off percentage, Oilers are 18th in the league, right at 50%, right down the middle. Meanwhile, the Panthers are 12th in the league at 51.6. Shooting percentage, Oilers are 29th, tied for 29th in the league, at 8.5%. That's something that has got to change. I mean, they are ripping so many shots at their opponents, but they're just not finding the holes. They were a couple games ago, but yesterday I went back to the kind of the same old thing. Meanwhile, the shooting percentage for the Panthers is 25th, averaging 9. So they're a little bit better, but not by much. Defensive stats, goals allowed. The Oilers have allowed 3.81, making them 29th in the league. Meanwhile, the Florida Panthers are a little bit stingy, as they are in the top 10 in 7th with a 2.71. Shots on goal. The Edmonton Oilers are shots allowed on goal. They're 9th in the league at 29.1. Meanwhile, the Panthers are tied for 6th at 28. Penalty minutes, the Oilers are, is it tied for? No, 24th at, looks like 11.1 minutes. And then the Panthers are 2nd. So Panthers are actually very disciplined. They're only averaging 7.5 minutes per game. The penalty kill, the Oilers are 28th in the league, averaging with a 72.6%. Meanwhile, the Panthers are 24th at 74.1%. So there you have it. That is the breakdown of what you'll see. Likely Skinner's in net. There is a lot of rumbling and rumors that they're trying to bring in a goalie. We'll see what happens. Apparently, Montreal, I've been hearing stuff that they're looking at actually all 3 of Montreal Canadian goalies, so we'll see what happens. But the Oilers do need to address that situation. If they can't get the proper defensive play from some of our defensemen. Simple as that, because when the Oilers play that almost that boxing defensive style, they seem to do very, very well against their teams. So we'll see. All right. Okay, let's go into troubleshooting. So like I say, troubleshooting, I will do... did I not make a graphic for that? Okay, yes I did. I just worded it differently. Troubleshooting will be done on the weekends. The numbers is going to be done on the weekdays. So on this episode, I will do the troubleshooting. And today we're going to talk about the goaltending. Okay. So it's definitely no secret the Oilers goaltending's really struggling. Okay. Sending down a $5 million goaltender to the minors. Stuart Skinner is sometimes hit and miss. He has been playing better, but yesterday was kind of one of those miss days. So what do the Oilers do? What are their options? We're going to start with desperate teams. Price goes up. So the Oilers are desperate. What are they willing to pay to get a decent goalie? Are they willing to sacrifice? I know we're in the McDavid and Draisaitl window. Are we willing to sacrifice now? Or are we going to start actually trying to fix this team and make them a super contender in 3 or 4 years and just hope that McDavid and Draisaitl come back? Something that they mentioned on, I think it's the Oil Nation. It's another website, and they do a very, very good job. I actually tune into them quite a bit. But they were talking about there's been certain players that have been placed on the long-term injury reserve due to mental health issues, whether it be substance abuse or just trying to get your confidence back and all that kind of stuff. This is something that probably the Oilers can't go to Jack Campbell and say, hey, maybe you should consider. Well, they could probably ask him, hey, maybe you should consider this. That would get him off the cap hit, and then we can go forward from there. But that's a tough one, because right now, when I get into this next, actually, I'm going to get into the next graphic. Can Jack ever be back to current form? Right now, in the minors, he's horrible. a 436 goals against average, an 81.9 save percentage. Brutal. Absolutely brutal that he's doing this in the minors. And what this tells me, he's done. He's not an NHL goaltender unless he somehow figures this out. Now, in all fairness, he was playing better this year than he did last year. But I think it's still the organization realized he still has mountains to climb to get to a decent respectability. It's still not very good what he's playing this year. It's a little bit better from last year. But as soon as he went down there, I think his confidence just really took a hit, because those numbers in the American League, like, he's now the backup goaltender in the American League. $5 million goaltender is your backup goalie in the American League. That's bad. That is so, so, so bad. And will the Oilers ever move on from Dusty Schwartz? Now, I had comments from you guys here saying that he's married to the organization and all that, and that very well may be. But at some point in time, you gotta call a spade and say, hey, we tried. Let's move on, try something different. Because the goaltending coach isn't directly responsible for the saves, but he's directly responsible for getting that guy's confidence up to a level of compete. It's up to him to get the help that he needs, whether it's therapists or whatnot, to get his confidence going. But it's up to Dusty Schwartz to tell the organization, look, we have a problem here, and we need to do some other methods at fixing him. He's had no luck. He's had horrible luck with Koskinen. He's had horrible luck with Campbell. Miraculously, Skinner played extremely well. I don't know if that's a product of Dusty Schwartz or not, but yeah. There's been too many misses than hits, is what I'm basically saying. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, let's move on. And this is one of those new things that I'm adding in to the channel. As of this week, it's called the Oil Referendum. If you scan, it's that way. If you scan the QR code on the right-hand side of your screen, it'll take you to a direct link of my YouTube page, or you can just go to my YouTube page manually. But what I'm going to start doing is starting to do poll questions. And the poll question for this week is, with all the changes that took place in the last 2 weeks, are you confident the Edmonton Oilers will make the postseason? I did this earlier today, and then did a piece of it. I already voted. So yeah, go ahead and vote. I'm standing my ground. I'm still not confident that they can do it. And I apologize for how I spelled no there. I spelled it noi. So it's like some foreign language. But I accidentally had an I in there. Regardless, no is the answer there. Yeah, I'd like to hear from you guys. See what Oil Nation is actually thinking as a whole. So yeah, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to try it for a while, see if it works, and we'll go from there. Okay. All right, here is the latest standings. Now, this is as of this morning. And it's actually not the standings of the Pacific Division. I actually did this one as the Western Conference as a whole with the wild cards in play. So as you can see, Edmonton is way still at the bottom. Your top guys in the Western Conference start off with the Vegas Golden Knights, Vancouver Canucks, then I would say it's Dallas, followed by either Los Angeles. No, it'd be followed by, well, actually Los Angeles is in the same tier. But basically your Pacific is Vegas, Vancouver, Los Angeles. Wild card is Anaheim. Then you got the Calgary Flames, Edmonton Oilers, and I believe the San Jose Sharks and Anaheim Ducks are near the bottom. No, Anaheim's in the first wild card spot. The Edmonton Oilers, 16 games played. So we're 16 games into the season. Their record is 5-10-1 for 11 points. Massive, massive uphill battle still for them. Like I said, I have my doubts that they can actually make the playoffs this year, barring a miracle run. But they're going to have those tough games like yesterday against Tampa. Tomorrow they're playing the second place Atlantic Division team in the Florida Panthers that were the Stanley Cup runner-ups. So they're in tough. They are in tough. I'm not saying with 100% certainty it can't be done, but I'm right now leaning towards it's definitely a no-go. Okay, so where are we at now? Okay, so we are at the end here. This is where I'll take your questions and answers. Ask you guys kindly to, if you enjoy the content I bring, to like, share, and subscribe. This is the final thoughts section, and none of you guys joined me today, so I'm going to leave it to me. The Oilers, I like a lot of things that Knobloch has brought to the table. However, there's a lot of stuff that has to be ironed out of the game that this is still from when Woody was in there. Poor defensive play has got to get better. They have got to get better with, especially their big money players. They got to get better defensively. Okay? We got enough offense to take care of that. You got McDavid, which is a nuclear bomb. You got Draisaitl, which is a nuclear bomb when it comes to offense. Then we got Hyman and Kane and even look, Derek Ryan, what he did yesterday. Offense is not an issue. We need our guys to be better defensively. We get better defensively, we'll get better results, we'll make the postseason, we may win a Stanley Cup. But right now, I think that's still a far cry away until they get this defense and this goaltending situation under wraps. All right, guys. That would be another episode of Lubed. And I've actually changed my exit video here, and I hope you enjoy it. As always, guys, stay healthy, stay happy, stay hydrated. We'll see you on Wednesday or Thursday, not sure.